Welcome to the Sample Chapter Podcast, the show where authors read a sample chapter from one of their books. Here's your host, Jason A. Meiske.
Hello, Sample Chapter listeners, and welcome to episode 275 of the show. Hey, this is the reading portion of the show, or part 2 of our visit with Gabrielle J. Miller. She is back this time, reading from her sci-fi romance story, Halley's Comet. The subtitle to that is M.E.L.S, M.E.L.S, Mars Enclosed Living Station. It's a fun read. It's a short read, but it's one you are bound to enjoy if you like sci-fi romance, maybe a little bit of spicy stuff. You're gonna really enjoy the story and this little sample of her story being presented to you today. So that's coming up here in just a moment. Meanwhile, for me, I've just been writing, and actually over the weekend, as you know, I was in Florida, Missouri for the Friends of Florida Craft Fair there in Florida, Missouri, and that was a lot of fun. I had a really good time up there. Like I said, that is the birthplace of Mark Twain, and we were actually located at the school that's right there between the cemetery and the winery. So it was a good location and nice and sunny. It was good weather all day, so that was a bonus. And yeah, just lots of good craft fair or crafters there, food. Oh my gosh, amazing food, and some really cool vendors that I got to talk to throughout the day. Met lots of wonderful people stopping by the booth, talking about the books. And once again, Bandit was one of the big winners of the day. 9 Mile Bridge was another one, actually, because of 9 Mile Bridge being based on inspired by a real place, I should say, inspired. I met the Historical Society from the area, and we had a nice little chat, swapping ghost stories and talking, different legends around the state, and that was a lot of fun. That was really cool. And it just kind of goes to show that you never know who you're going to meet and what may come up at an event. So for all you authors out there with books that are looking for ways to promote yourselves, I invite you to check out the local craft fairs and, don't be shy about grabbing a booth and seeing what you can do. I had a few people who made sure they wanted to grab some books because they were going to be spending the day on the water and enjoying the Memorial Day weekend, and they needed a book to read while they were out there to relax, sit in the sun. And fortunately, I was the only person there selling books, so I got to provide that service. But it was a really good day, and yeah, we'll see. I may be going back again sometime. I do have more events being planned right now. I've got one coming up in July for sure. Another one potentially in August, and then I'm looking at the fall, and then we'll see what happens. But as always, I'll make sure and let you know first. So, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out whenever I let you know what I've got coming up next. Lots of events coming soon, lots of great authors coming soon. Meanwhile, why don't we go ahead and hop on over to that sample reading from Gabrielle J. Miller and Halley's Comet.
This is Halley's Comet, subtitled Mars Enclosed Living Station. Chapter 1. The lottery started with 4 million applications. Those applications were narrowed down by age, then health, and then the real test began. Being one of the remaining 8,000 candidates to fill the 300 positions in the new Mars base was thrilling. After the next round of tests, it would come down to the lottery and chance. There was no magic number. You had to score 100% on the 7-hour test to put your hat in the ring. Some joked that there was no way there could be 300 people who could score a perfect 100%. But those of us who had been taking the tests up until now and studying our hearts out knew that we had a real chance. I was sure I had a chance. I had aced every test so far, but I also knew I wasn't the only one. The only test had been slightly difficult for me were the physical ones, and my issues hadn't been that I was out of shape. My issue was my height and the fact that the courses were made for people who were head and shoulders taller. No allowances had been made, but I had still made it, even if it had been by the skin of my teeth. There were 6 testing locations around the world, and 2 of them were in the United States. The other 4 were in countries the U.S. worked in tandem with on the Mars Enclosed Living Station, M.E.L.S. I was standing outside of one of the locations in Boston on the MIT campus, waiting for the doors to open to allow today's group in. I had flown in from McKinney, Texas for this, and I was tired but eager and ready. I was the youngest candidate at 19, but none of the candidates could be over 30. They didn't want to waste money sending older people who might not live long enough to cover how much it costs to train and send them. The candidates had to be young, in shape, and smart. I felt confident that I fit the bill. I hoped I fit the bill. Since the moment I had heard about M.E.L.S, I dreamed of being one of the first residents, one of the first to actually live on Mars. Not one of the builders or technicians who put it together, but the first to go there to live within the new structure, expanding it, making it thrive, actually being there to see the new world starting. I had put everything I had into becoming all I needed to do to be on the first shuttle. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, just like the comet my father had named me after. The doors opened and 4 people in white coats came out to bracket the door, and they waved us up. We went through the normal security screening, standing in line to show our badges, our papers, and our IDs, and then letting them scan the chips in our arms. There would be no subbing in and cheating on any of the tests. They looked through my bag and my lunch and even opened my drink to make sure it was only water. I was put near the back, but it didn't matter. I didn't have to see over the top of anyone to take a test. A dozen or more moderators were walking around the room handing out tablets. Once I got mine, it required my handprint, and then my information popped up and I had to verify everything. A countdown appeared on the screen as the tablets were passed to everyone, and they all had the same timer. There will be no speaking, no looking around, no cell phones or outside devices of any kind. If you are caught cheating, you will be escorted out. If you are suspected of cheating, you will be pulled aside and the video footage will be reviewed. Your tablets will record you as you take your tests. You have exactly 7 hours from the time the timer goes off. The tablet will shut itself down when your time is up or when you select the last answer. There's no going back to check your answers or coming back to skip a question. You either know it the first time or you're not supposed to be here. No bathroom breaks, so drink fluid sparingly. Your time begins soon. Take this time to get comfortable and prepare. The woman stepped off the small stage and gestured to the moderators who began patrolling the room. I looked at the tablet and the countdown from 14 seconds.
And there you are. That was Gabrielle J. Miller reading a sample chapter from Halley's Comet, the M.E.L.S. Mars Enclosed Living Station. Hey, you can click the link in the show notes for more from Gabrielle, all of her books, and to make sure you follow her there to find out what she has coming out next. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that next time when we're back with a new author, a new book, and a brand new sample chapter. Take care, everybody. We're going to see you again real soon.